everybody, and welcome to our very special War of the Worlds fan show with Cara, Maria, and Paulie. Now, look, before we bring them on, I need to let you guys know some pretty huge things. If you missed any of our previous shows, you can check them all out over on our website, YourRealityRecaps.com. Of course, we're currently covering Big Brother Canada, The Amazing Race, RuPaul's Drag Race, Housewives. All of our shows are over on our website, so make sure you check that out. But if you missed us doing this show live, you could have watched it over on YouNow. So make sure you head over to YourRealityRecaps.com/YouNow to become a fan. You get alerted every time we go live. You can hang out in the chat room, and it is completely free. That is how you watch us do shows like this one live. Now, if you want to help support our shows, consider becoming a patron at YourRealityRecaps.com/patron. You get access to the patron-only shows, the patron-only group, prize giveaways just for patrons, weekly patron-only shows, and if you're a Big Brother fan, that's where we do the after shows. So we have everyone live on YouNow for free for everybody, and then we go into the patron group for the after show, and that's where the real tea comes out. And it's because of the patrons or people that do one-time donations at YourRealityRecaps.com/PayPal that really help financially support our shows. Without your guys' financial support, we couldn't keep these going. So if you love this shows and shows like them, consider becoming a patron or doing a one-time donation. Of course, maybe you're just cheap. Maybe you didn't win the challenge and you don't have a lot of money. You only have money for yourself. Then make sure that you start all of your Amazon shopping at YourRealityRecaps.com/Amazon. You don't pay any more. We get a little bit back. It's super helpful if you guys start your Amazon shopping using our link or clicking the ad in the sidebar. Of course, if you're into gaming, we also are over on Twitch, YourRealityRecaps.com/Twitch, doing Fortnite late nights. So add us as a fan over there as well. If you are listening on YouTube, thumbs up and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we post a show. iTunes, 5-star rating, and a nice review. Those are great free ways to help our support our shows, as well as sharing them on social media. So we really, really appreciate all your guys' support. Like I said, we could not do this without all of you. But look, let's get to the people that you guys are dying to hear from. It's Paulie and Cara Maria.
What up, Eric?
Was that high energy? I feel like I was high energy for 9:30.
You're always high energy. That's what I love about you. I've missed you.
We have missed you both too. How are you guys doing?
We are good. We just drove for 5.5 hours.
Oh my God. From where to where?
Basically from Bozeman, Montana to Kalispell, Montana.
Really?
Yeah.
But it must be like a beautifully scenic route. I'm sure that you loved it.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Well, I want to let everybody know watching. You already have hundreds of people here watching you guys live. I want to let everyone know to spread the word and obviously become a fan. If you have a question, you can tweet me them with #YRLive, or you can leave them in the chat. And Lindsay is producing in my ear. She will grab those questions from chat. But we already have a ton for you guys, so I'm just going to start jumping right into them, Paulie.
Jump right into them, Eric.
Right into them. All right, first one up. I feel like you probably have to been asked this 100 times, and I just want to get it out of the way right now. Kelly McCarthy wants to know, are there any similarities for you, Paulie, between Big Brother and the challenge, or what are the differences?
I'd say there's more differences than similarities.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the only similarity between Big Brother and the challenge is that there's a social game aspect. However, Big Brother's like all social game. The challenge is like, it's not really like crazy social game. It's
right.
More like who's done the seasons for the longest, who kind of have built bonds over the years. And you just kind of go off of like observation skills, but you really can't blindside anyone.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to take a question from Kelly for Cara, and she wants to know, what season of the challenge was the hardest for you to compete in, and which was your favorite?
The hardest season I ever did, I think, was Free Agents, because I went into all the eliminations, basically, but it was my favorite. It's the one I'm most proud of. And then, yeah, that's my favorite season.
Okay, that was your
Leave it at free agents,
Leave it at free agents. Done.
Perfect.
Actually, the hardest season ever, competition-wise, is this season right now. It's War of the Worlds. Like, the challenges, anything else coming up is probably the hardest thing we've ever seen. So, definitely the hardest season I've ever done.
I have to honestly say, like, I was right there with you when you were like, this is effed up and traumatic for many people. I, honest to God, was having a panic attack watching you guys do that. I'm already afraid to fly. I made an airplane pull back up to the terminal to let me off. I've been so afraid of planes. I don't know how you guys got on a plane after that. Was that, like, horrific to compete in?
Can I just, like, pause for 1 second?
Yeah.
Your graphics are on point. Like, I really was not expecting it. Like, this is pretty legit,
Oh,
man.
we're a
like,
real
if I ever
production.
had a podcast, I'd want to do it your style. It's cool.
I'm here to
I
help.
wish I dressed up for the occasion. Shit.
I'm here, Cara, to help. Paulie will fill you in. We do lots of things around here.
Yes, Eric is top notch.
Seriously.
He's top notch.
Fucking shit. Thanks for warning me, babe.
It's okay. Wait, after, like, in post, I'll figure out. Maybe I can, like, superimpose, like, a gown. We'll see.
Like hair, like really pretty hair, lashes, like give me like the whole drag makeover.
All right, we'll totally do it. Let me take a question for. Let me take one of your Twitter questions. It's actually from Calafiore Cara. I had to practice that because there's so many tongue twisters. Is there anybody other than Cody and Corey that you two would like to see on the challenge?
You want to take this one?
I want to see whoever I can beat, honestly. I'll take the easy way out. I don't give a fuck.
I'd like to see Darrell come back.
I love Darrell, but he's already part of the challenge. Yeah, I think they're thinking
outsiders, not people that have been on.
Yeah, either one, whatever.
Okay, yeah. I'd say I'd want to see Darrell go on. You know who I'd actually really want to see, who's I guess from the Big Brother family? I'd want to see Caleb.
Okay. Oh, really?
Beast Mode Cowboy. I would just want to see from a competitive standpoint, because he's a competitor.
Right.
He's athletic.
Uh-huh.
I would just want to see how he would handle the challenge world.
Well, now, speaking of Big Brother world tying in, I mean, that's what got me to watch the challenge again. I think I haven't watched it for a few years because I've just been too heartbroken over people I want to win not winning. Other than, like, I feel like Cara's last win was like, yay, someone I'm rooting for is winning. Then it was just like, no, I'm not a fan. But I'm back for the Big Brother people. Now, obviously, you had Josh playing with you guys this season, Devon. But it seems like there's a little Devon tension again. Like, is this true? We saw Devon on, like, the after show kind of saying, like, I don't know how I feel about those two. And then we saw last night, Cara, you were like, no, I am not voting Devon, or I am, giving a vote to Devon. So, like, I guess what a lot of the people are asking is, what is the status of your guys' friendship now?
I mean, I haven't spoken to Devon since the reunion.
Really?
I don't, I leave it where it's at, where I leave any friendship I have. Like, I'm friends with somebody, I have no problems with them. However, I am in a relationship, so you got to kind of work that angle. And if, person has a problem with my girlfriend or vice versa, and they can't come to a head and figure it out themselves, I have to side with my girlfriend.
I definitely would say it is. I think that is the correct answer, Paulie. I think you were supposed to side with your girlfriend. I think that is the correct answer.
I mean, you can be friends with whoever you want to be friends with. I don't know what the problem is.
Okay.
Yeah, Cara and Devon have not spoken about what the problem is. I want to get them. I want to get them to speak so that it all gets put on the table, so that we can figure it out and figure out if they can go back to being okay or not. Devon and I have come a long way, so It would be upsetting if the friendship has to end because of something going on.
You
but
can
I
be
do
friends
side.
with whoever. Don't side. I'm not
But I
telling
do
you to
side.
choose who you want to be friends with.
If
Be friends with whoever you want to be friends
someone is
with, Paulie.
disrespecting my girlfriend,
Uh-huh.
I will side with my girlfriend.
All right. Well,
And that is it.
I think it's best to just ask her. She did the Lord of the Rings YouTube trilogy about me, so I'm sure the answer is somewhere in there. I haven't figured it out. But I did vote her instead of Georgia because I made a deal with Maddie and Dee, which I honored, and I knew that whatever name I said was just going to be a burn vote anyway. So
Yeah, Devon was protected for that elimination. She wasn't.
I don't know why people are.
She wasn't getting voted. She wasn't getting voted in, regardless, because Turbo and I were like, all right.
Yeah,
we're
she wasn't getting voted in, but you can't stop her from getting picked in. So I don't know why people are all like up in a hissy about it. It's like, fuck off.
That's kind of what I thought when I watched it. Like when I was.
You are in a mood.
I'm about to period.
When I was watching it, I was kind of like, I don't think it matters who they're voting in. And you even kind of said, Paulie, like, she couldn't protect me here, but she protected me with the vote, which kind of made me think that's probably what's going to happen in the same scenario, and it did. I was honestly, I'm joking. I was honestly going to joke and be like, well, let's bring Devon in. Right? And then I was like, no, we're going to move on.
You might as well ask the source, because otherwise we're all clueless.
Look, here's the thing. Devon and Cara are both Tauruses, right? So they are both stubborn bulls. And one day, she never thought that she would be cool with Angela again. And lo and behold, her and Angela are cool. So I don't think that it's completely off the table. I, for one, know how stubborn Devon could be. And if Devon and I were able to overcome what we went through, she's receptive to talking when
I'll be cordial with anybody. I don't really care. But it's like her and all her fans that won't stop.
I was going to say, I think like the Paulie and Devon, story has come to this nice conclusion that I think there's hope for. Anything that wants to be worked out well, I think can be worked out well.
I'm surprised Devon and I weren't partners on Final Reckoning, because I feel like our explosion was worse than anything Natalie and I went through.
I completely agree. That made absolutely no sense to me. When they were like, you and Natalie, I was like, what? Whatever. Let's move on from that to a more fun question over from Twitter from Team Cringe32, who wants to know, Paulie, what surprised you the most about Montana, and have you got used to pumping gas?
The pumping gas, that's not really a problem. I mean, you can figure that out. I'd say the main thing getting used to being out in Montana is it's like it starts to get really nice, and then all of a sudden it just hits you with a snowstorm out of nowhere.
Right.
So it's like it was really nice, and then we got hit with snow all this past week, and now it's really nice this weekend, and we're supposed to get hit with snow again all next week. So that's probably what I'm getting used to the most. What I love the most is the scenery.
Right.
And like the fact that instead of just running a trail, I can go run a mountain.
Right.
So that's cool.
Cara, I said people in chat were asking, what is your favorite thing, or what was one of the things that you were most excited to show Paulie about Montana for the first time?
Just my horse.
Just your horse.
I just wanted him to meet Garnet. That's about it.
Did you
She's the light of my life. So I wanted him to come see her, brush her, ride her. So. And
did you ride her, Paulie? The horse?
I have ridden Garnet. I have ridden Garnet.
Okay, good.
I rode the hell out of that horse, Eric.
Feel like people are going to be chopping this interview up later. Denise Kelly wants to know, are either of you guys watching Big Brother Canada?
We are not.
Yeah, I didn't think that you guys were.
We are not.
I actually Game of Thrones.
I haven't watched a Big Brother season since I haven't even watched my season. So Big Brother 17 was the last season that I watched.
Would I'm sure you probably get asked this a lot too, Cara, but would you ever do Big Brother?
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
Survivor?
I would lose my fucking mind. I can't. I would never do anything like that. I've never actually watched it, but just the idea of being in a house and not being able to get out of it, I would go stir crazy. I'd lose my mind.
The challengers have it nice in that regard because everything's broken up throughout the week. You go to locations for challenges, you go to locations for eliminations, you go out, once or twice a week. Big Brother, there's no escape.
Plus, you get filmed 24/7, so I don't.
And you get phone calls in the challenge house. You get to call people.
It's just not my cup of tea.
Different.
Right. Well, I mean, they're
host
not...
a cupcake show.
Right. I mean, they're not cutting you off from the outside world the way I guess Big Brother needs to, so they can manipulate you more, which is my words.
What do you mean, Eric? They
Just-
do not manipulate us in Big Brother. There
Which
are
is-
no pointed questions in
Yeah.
the diary room. They do not try and make us go insane. They do not try and get people to think things that are not going on at all
It's not a reality
to incite
show.
paranoia.
It's, yeah, exactly. Look, I used to work for MTV for like 4 years, so I know all MTV's tricks too.
We're slowly starting to learn all of MTV's tricks as well.
We are learning.
We are learning.
13 seasons later, and I finally figured it out.
It's Viacom. It's the same umbrella. They own both.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna just go here because now chat is loving you for Game of Thrones, Cara, and they want to know who's your favorite character is.
Brienne of Tarth is one of them because she's a badass knight. I mean, obviously Arya is like there. I can't pick just one because then Tyrion's funny as shit. I love
Sure.
the Hound.
I like
every time I'm
Braun.
like, I love
feel like
this
all
one,
the
I love this
I feel
one.
like they've developed all the characters so well that you love everyone except for Cersei.
And the dragons.
You know who I really loved was
Who?
Ramsay. I'm
Yeah.
fucked.
Okay. I don't watch the show.
Okay, well everybody else will get it.
I'm just going along.
There was this one scene where Ramsay Bolton, you know what? I'm not even going to go into it because people already hate me as it is. So if I say that I love this scene, they will really
Right.
hate me. So
Ramsay was a fun character to watch.
he was fun. And he preferred to be an only child. We'll leave it at that.
Paulie will tell you, Cara, people in our shows don't hate people. I love our audience, that they are all very open and accepting and
Cool.
loving.
And they're positive.
And they're positive
Cool.
people. We don't have a bunch of like hater people here. Laura wants to know, Laura Warner wants to know, Paulie, would you ever be interested in competing with or against Cody in the challenge?
That'd be cool.
Competing with Cody,
Or against.
I would love to do it. That was almost the case this past season. Cody said no because he had other things that he needed to be filming. So unfortunately, I don't think that dream will ever become a reality because his acting career is picking up.
Be so cool though.
Props with him. It would be so awesome.
He's so funny.
I don't think it would be fair.
Uh-huh.
For a lot of the other male competitors. Going against him, I don't know.
That'd be fun.
I would
it's a
hate-
win-win. It's
I
a
would-
win-win.
I would hate going against him though, because it's my brother. I
But
love him.
Not in an elimination,
You
but in
know?
like a team setting because you won against
Well,
him in
no.
soccer. didn't
Well,
you?
yeah, I went against him in soccer.
No,
It would be
same thing.
fun, but
That
you
way
know.
at least you have a better
and it-
chance of one of you
But
guys
here's the
winning.
thing: if we went
Uh-huh.
into the show together, people would try and figure out a way to make it so that we verse each other in elimination, and that's like one of those things where, you know, it's kind of like that movie Warrior.
They would have to win a challenge for that.
They would have to win a
happen.
challenge for that.
For you, I think you'd be all set.
Between the two of us, Cody is a comp beast. I'm a comp beast. I think it would be fun to see us run a final together
Yeah,
to see who would win.
It would.
individually.
Here's my whole thing, and I argue this point every time when like Survivor does like a season with family members. Aren't you guys gonna share the money anyway? It's very hard for
It's
me.
a family
Like,
thing.
yeah, like if I watch the show, I would be like, I don't care if Cody and Paulie are going against each other. If just as long as one wins, their family has the money.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's it.
Yeah, so I never bought into like, it's mother versus daughter. I'm like,
Not
you live in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm now charging you $1 million rent, daughter. By the way, going back for 1 second, Golden Hermit says, Paulie, why did you not watch your season of Big Brother? You just wanted to put it behind you, or you just, I guess her question is, why didn't you watch your season of Big Brother?
You know, it's funny because like with Big Brother, you have to detox. Like Cody didn't watch his season until a year and a half later.
Right.
You know, because it's such a psychological, I guess, mind fuck that happens, and nobody understands like the torture that you actually go through in that house. You need time away, and you know, I've talked to alumni that are like, it's better to watch the season backwards, so it's like you watch
Yep.
the last episode and then you watch it to the beginning,
Yep.
so that you don't kind of like watch until you like get eliminated. I never went back and watched it because, you know, it's just why am I going to go back and watch something where I lived it 100%? I can still remember everything that happened in that house. I remember all the things that I was going around in the house and counting and all that. That's how crazy that game is. So it's like to go back and relive it and then to have to watch it through a editing perspective to kind of be like, wow, you know, so now I understand why certain things were the way it was. It's like watching the challenge now, we know what went on in the house, but even watching how it's edited, we're sitting there being like, man, like this sucks watching it.
It was literally my favorite season to film because I was so happy. Like in the house, I was really just genuinely happy. Like every night we'd be cuddling, like lay in bed. We were with each other in my room, in my bed, basically 24/7. It was too cold outside. There was too many bugs upstairs. There was either the main room, like Johnny's old room, where everybody gathered in there. Johnny, like Maddie's in there now, Wes is in there now. There's either that room, which I never ventured into, or there was like the living room and the kitchen, which nobody ever went just to eat, and then they retired to their rooms. And so there was no really common areas. So we literally spent like the whole time like talking about our life outside of the challenge, planning what we wanted to do when we left. Like it was, you know, the competitions were like made you feel amazing. Like we felt great. I loved, this was my favorite season to be on. Watching it is the worst thing in the entire world.
We're like sitting there.
I literally hate, like, I hate the Cara that you guys are seeing. I'm like, this is so annoying.
We don't like
it. So annoying. I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop doing this, MTV.
We're sitting there in the house being like, this is going to be great. Like we're having a good time. There's no way they can make everything. There's no way they can make a love. There's no way they can make. There's no way they can make a love triangle out of nothing that exists in this house, and then lo and behold, a love triangle for the whole season just magically sprouts out of nowhere.
There's just
and we're
so
like,
much.
What?
There's so
How
much
is it possible?
that was not shown on other people's ends specifically, so that they could the love. The only love triangle I saw was me, Paulie, and how many times we were in that tribunal. The tribunal was the third part of our love triangle. That's the only thing they should have been paying attention to.
And the other thing is, and I understand why they have to do it, because they have to protect individuals and they can't make it seem like people are a certain way. But like walking around the house, we're sitting there being like, man, everybody's intimidated by us. Everybody's kind of like afraid of us. But they're going to build it up like this. So that people are like, oh, what's going to happen? What's this? And I get it. It's TV magic. But at the same time, it's frustrating to watch because we're sitting there being like, this is not what happened.
I'm as annoyed as all the viewers. And the more comments I see, it's like, you think that me watching this is annoying. I'm just as annoyed as you guys.
Just as annoyed.
But the people leaving the constant comments 24/7 on all the Challenge MTV pages, like whatever they're tweeting, that's even more freaking annoying. If they would stop talking about it, it wouldn't exist. Like they're adding to it, and it's annoying as fuck.
So,
I had keywords blocked from my Instagram comments just so that they can't prolong, add to it on my own Instagram. I'm like, seriously, you guys, like you are.
And I mean, you left Twitter, right? Like I'm assuming you left Twitter because I went to tag you in it, and I was like, oh, not here anymore. So
Twitter is just a cesspool of toxicity. Whereas Instagram, I get so much, like, the DMs and the people that slide in my DMs, there's hundreds and hundreds of love. Like, I can't keep up. Like, I wish I could respond to everybody, but I can't. But all those people that are just silently giving love and support, those aren't the people on Twitter. The people on Twitter are there to, like, be heard and bitch.
But I actually think, because I only have a Twitter for the sole purpose of, like, my own amusement of how to poke people on Twitter and do all those things, which I find funny and hilarious, and I know exactly what reactions I'm going to get from posting certain things. And no matter what, no matter how many times I say it, I could sit here until I'm blue in the face and saying, I'm only posting things to get reactions out of you. People are going to react, and it's amazing. But now I'm finding that I think the Twitter people are upset that, like, both of us aren't there. So now they're starting to go on Instagram and create accounts just so that they can comment. But they're getting upset because Instagram has much better ways of regulating and controlling hate.
But it's not even the trolls so much that made me leave Twitter. It was more there's a certain group of castmates that I was just like, I literally don't want to. They talked all they would do was look for something about my life.
We have so many castmates blocked and it's so interesting
but they
to us
still comment
how
on
they find how people
everything
find
that we
ways
do.
to see what we do and comment on what we do. And it's the craziest thing in the
And
world.
I block them on all of my social media. I block them out of my phone. And it's like, I don't go on my Twitter to like talk about you because I don't even have Twitter anymore, but you're still commenting on everything relating to me. It's like, go away.
Do you
go back in your hole.
Do you feel like people do it in order to have a storyline or to have a reason to be cast on a future season? I'm having an argument with you.
I feel as though that's the way that it used to go down. And what a lot of people fail to realize is the casting pool for these shows has now gone global. And the old ways of getting casted by starting Twitter beefs may not be the way forward. And, my thing is, it's like, so Big Brother, for instance, it's one and done. Mm-hmm. So the alumni can sit there and they can trash whoever they want for as long as they want, because odds of you guys playing against each other are never going to happen. Right. In the challenge world, now, if you're going to be that way, one day, if you have to be in that house with that person, what are you going to do?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've noticed that anybody who is shitty to Paulie online, whenever he calls them on the phone or sees them in person, they back down like a baby. Unless they're on a big stage full of people.
They do.
If
unless
they're
there's cameras.
When they are individual, they back down like children.
Unless there's cameras in front of them or a Twitter audience or an Instagram audience. Nobody will ever see it, but I'm the first person to call, and then I'm the first person when there's a group, take the person into an isolated area and be like, what's good? I've seen it. They cower.
I've seen it.
And that's the one thing that nobody gets to see, but I love it.
Not even aggressively. Like, he talks to them like, all right, so this is what's up. This is how you feel. This is what's going down. Like, what's good? You know what I mean? Or we can handle it like that. I've seen him put plenty offers on the table. Mm-hmm. We can take this somewhere else. You know what I mean? I'm going to be here. You have my phone number. I'm going to be here in this country or wherever
for the
next couple of days.
Or this area.
You can meet me wherever you want to meet me. Let me know. And fucking crickets.
And I
find the ones that talk the most.
And
I've seen it.
I find it funny because it's
so many times.
I know what it looks like when I'm walking around the challenge house, and I know what it looks like when I'm playing the game. So then when everybody watches it back and all of a sudden they're like, oh man, I'm getting good at it now, let me get these muscles. But then we got to walk into a house together again, maybe in the future. What's going to happen?
Well, they have the muscles when they think they have the numbers, but as soon as you win immediately, they back down and try to make deals.
Right. Well,
I've seen it.
Well, let's talk about one of these people and one of these situations. Of course, Kyle, for a second. So, Paulie, I mean, a lot of people, like, based on what you're saying right now, would you say that Kyle is one of those people? Or I guess a lot of people, even myself a little bit, and not just with the you and Kyle situation, because we even saw it earlier in the season, which, God, now I'm forgetting their names. My point is, it seems like you guys are rivals and you're going at each other, but then it always will also cut to the next scene where you guys are like, hey, buddy. So it's always like weird. Like, do you really hate each other?
And that's my thing with TV Magic is they have to show what is going to get the best reactions from people, because what would the reaction be if, like, let's say we went in and we were at each other's throats, like when we went head to head, right? And then as the game went on, it got to a point where we were like, hey, look, you've made it this far. I've made it this far. Kudos. You know what I mean? And then it turns into this whole thing where it's like, look, man, hey, Paulie, I'm messed up. My body's messed up. I got broken toes, torn knee, broken wrist. I'm mentally broken right now. I'm checked out of the game. I don't even want to be here. You don't want to go against me in this. Like, let's save it for when we're at 100%. Like, we can shake hands. And I'm like, we can shake hands. I give you credit. I respect you as a competitor. You've made it this far. We can do this when we're both healthy. Let's do it. You know what I mean? And then once again, they're not going to show me praising that and being like, you know what? I got to give the kid credit. He's made it this far, because that's not going to get the reactions that they want. And then, from that, you go into the TV magic world of like, I got to go and do interviews for 5 hours,
Right.
you know, leading up to the elimination, thinking like, all right, we already shook hands on this. You know, we had this awesome conversation, which most people would be like, damn, they broke bread, but like they're still rivals. But there's this like kind of like, hey man, like we can back off the war. And instead of showing that, they want to show this buildup, which was never going to happen because I walked out of the interview room after not eating or drinking water, and they're like, all right, get on a bus. And then I'm like, all right, cool. Get there only to try and be baited by Wes and then TJ. And I'm sitting there being like, I'm not that stupid, guys. I'm sorry. Like, you're not gonna throw me in here while keeping me in an interview room for a whole day.
First of all, I loved Wes into this season. Like, Wes was one of my favorites until this season. Now, granted, like I said, I probably haven't watched for like 2 years before this season, so I don't know when Wes turned into this Wes. But yeah, and I
actually love watching Wes this season. I do. For me, it's entertaining because once again, you see how it was there, and now you see how it's playing out and how good he actually was at doing everything.
I mean, I will also say, I'm totally Team Cara with this. I don't care about your whatever with Kyle. Let's even say that it was like real and you guys were still, you know, going at each other. It is $750,000. You're safe. You don't go down there. I will give you can buy lots of therapy or whatever after, or go rent out like a ring and fight after. But keep your money. You're safe. I was literally, when that cliffhanger happened, I was like, I swear to God, if he goes in there voluntarily right now.
Here's the thing. You wouldn't be up for elimination if you won the challenge. And he just kept winning challenges. So is he supposed to lose the challenge on purpose? Win with a ring?
Yeah, but my thing is, even everybody in the house at that time is like, Paulie, you know, there's no honor going against a broken man. Like, put your ego aside, put your pride aside. Like, everybody in the house is like sitting there being like, come on, man. And like, you know, I can sit there and be like, look, I don't have to prove anything because in that challenge that I won, the weight in junk that I was dragging half a mile for an hour and a half was probably more than what Kyle's body weight was.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I get it, and I get why everybody needs to have an opinion. I like that everybody has an opinion because if there are future seasons, which we can't say that there are or aren't, and we can't say that we're on or not on, but if there are, if that moment ever happens, it's going to be that much more of a good TV moment.
Right, because they want storylines and they want things to carry over to get people.
I want no storyline with whatever you guys are talking about.
You want no storylines. Well, so then, I mean, look, I kind of want to take this question from Becca, but I do kind of feel like you just answered it. She just says, congratulations on Kyle's elimination. So, you know, can we look forward to maybe you guys not being rivals in the future? And go ahead, I'll let you answer.
I think that the way it works is it wouldn't be a like you're probably never going to see us get in each other's faces again, and there's not going to be that animosity because it's like realistically me targeting him was based off of being in the Redemption House for an entire season, and I wanted him to feel what it was like to have to mentally stay in the game. You know what I mean? Where like for me in the Redemption House, mentally staying in the game was like not checking out because everybody in the Redemption House looked at it as a death wish. I wanted him to feel what it was like to kind of get attacked almost every single day and every single week. And I feel like Final Reckoning was his hit to me. This season was my hit to him. In the future, I don't think you're going to see an alliance form between us, right? But now I can sit there, and if I am on another season, I can now focus on the chess game rather than the proving a point game. You know what I mean?
But constantly putting in one human, whichever human that is, does stop you. If it's a human that's probably going to put you in regardless or put me in regardless, a human that obviously does not have your best interest, then putting that human in every time and them coming back is only in your favor because, especially if they're not good at winning challenges, because then you can vote them in every time and never have another target on your back.
Yeah.
So it's really good gameplay.
And that's the other thing is people look at it like, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Well, if I am on a future season, did I really make any new enemies by throwing new people in?
Right.
We didn't have to throw in any of our
if you
friends.
think of the long game, I never had to throw in. Yeah, we never had to throw in any of our friends.
Ever.
We never had to make new enemies. So
No.
if I do have enemies coming into a new season, it's strictly because
Them.
they kind of want to take me out, you know? So it's like,
So even on Fresh Meat 1, I remember they loved the gang mentality, loved putting in Wes every single time because he kept coming back, and they were like, great, we could just vote him in again and save
Right.
himself.
No new enemies.
So it's like they did that to Wes, and the rivalry with Wes continues this day. I don't even know where it originated from, but it's still a rivalry that continues.
Now,
I would rather have the focus be on whatever Wes's rivalry was from 50 seasons ago than anything we've got going on now. So any way we can avoid it in any possible way,
right.
I'd love to.
And I love the fact that now, regardless of what people say and think, I've now put myself in the position where going into a season, I can play strategic, and everybody that wants me out is now chasing me. So now I'm that, thing that I'm that prize that people want to be like, you know what? He talks a lot of shit. He does this. Let me go after him. Let me get him out.
I don't think anybody wants to lose to you, though.
Nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants to lose to me because I do talk so much smack.
Yeah, the thought of losing to you is not worth calling you out to go against.
If anything, I could say that I'm doing Johnny Bananas a favor because now I'm taking away his excuse of saying everybody versus Johnny Bananas, because now I'm that person that everybody will want to go in and be like, we got to get this asshole out right away.
You were this season, but
I was this season, but nobody could do it.
They wanted to.
Nobody
they were talking about it in every room.
They talked about it every single room.
Your own friends went and reported it to your own enemies.
I know. All my friends turned on me.
That is
my enemies. When I was
everything you
when
said
I was taking when I was taking out my enemies, they somehow got more alliance members. I don't know how it happened, but I like it better that way because then when you target someone, you don't have to feel bad if you target them.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I mean, look, like Cara Maria definitely, I think, is this amazing female competitor in the challenge. And I think that you are a force to be reckoned with. It has been amazing, I think, this season. People can love you or hate you, Paulie, but you have kind of like elevated to that level as well now. I mean,
it's only my second season.
I know.
Has always been, like, when I saw him compete, when he was able to come into the challenge after being screwed away in Redemption, like, immediately, and then being able to come back and just show what he could do when he came back from Redemption and just won challenge after challenge, like, coming back, him on his own or him with a partner that could equalize with him. I mean, even if on one of them, like, if Ninja Natalie was able to grab one tire, he would have been in another tribunal. I mean, but it was just good to have him with a partner that could keep up with him and so that he could really shine, because he is an amazing competitor, and I can't wait to see him in more challenges.
Here's the thing that I love most, Eric. I love that the more I do things, there's the people who are like, we love it, and then there's the people that start to come over and be like, damn, okay, I see it. But then there's still the group of people that are like, but he wouldn't do it if. And as long as I have both,
always.
As long as I have both, I've got everybody watching.
Yeah.
And that's all that really matters.
It's like the Conor McGregor. Like, he talks a lot of smack, he backs up the smack, and then there's the people that love him for it, and there's the people that watch to see him fall.
And then when he does fall, people go nuts.
And then they go nuts. But either way, like, they're watching. And I feel like it's the same for me. I feel like I'm at the point, like, people cannot wait to see me fall. And that's the fun of it. It's going to make me push harder. It's going to make me keep doing the best that I can do. I mean, I'm not invincible. It could happen. I could fall at some point, again in the future. I mean, I've done a hell of a record so far in a bunch of things, but when I do, there's going to be people that are like, yeah, F you, Cara, we knew you sucked. And there's the people it's like, shit happens to good people every now and then. Look at Johnny, look at CT. I mean, look at look at all the other people that I'm with. But people are watching, and it's fun.
Right.
So
First of all, Carmaria, I needed chat to explain to me who Conor McGregor was. I would from you expect like a Housewives reference.
what about like Ronda Rousey?
Okay, fine. I'm gonna.
So Ronda Rousey, right?
Sure.
I fucking love Ronda Rousey. I love her to the moon and back. She's the coolest shit ever. And I followed her back from like her first fight with like Misha Tate like years ago. I remember I still had like a MySpace, I think, at that point. And I followed her and I saw her rise and how amazing she was to like the UFC. And then people are like, oh yeah, well she fights this person, she's not gonna win. She's not gonna win. She won records, right? Then she got kicked in the head by Holly Holm, right?
And then she got smoked.
And then she got smoked again and again. And it's like, and the thing is people can't wait. Like even now, if she posts something, she's in the WWE now. If she posts something, there's still gonna be a comment. Remember when you got kicked in the head by Holly Holm? I mean, there's still that, but she is like thriving. She's making money. It's like she was the greatest of the great, but people watched because they're like, there's no way she's going on undefeated. Like they were waiting. You're watching because it's like even if you're rooting for her, you're like, is she invincible? Yeah. Can she fall? Like that's why we're watching. Yeah. You know, like the Patriots fall every now and then, but you're watching. You know, and
you so
that's kind of what I equate to. I'm like the Ronda Rousey.
Sure.
I think.
Sure. I love the sports reference.
I'm still going. Somebody's gonna kick me in the head.
Look, I wanna take a question from Twitter for you, Cara, or I only want to read half the question. It says, Cara, because people were asking in chat, do you plan on making a book about your photography? And also wanted to know if you and Paulie are going to do a photo shoot together. We'll leave it there. But I saw people asking this in chat before earlier too. Would you ever do like a book of your photography?
Just of like I used to do that back in college. I loved when I had more time. Like now I don't have a lot of time, but I really loved photography. I loved art, just being able to paint. Like I sold a lot of paintings. I just love being creative. Mm-hmm. So with that, I think that's a really good idea, and I would love to do. I think I would love to do a photo shoot with multiple photo shoots with Paulie, but like fun.
We have some ideas.
Superhero weird shit, like
we have some
50 Shades Freed shit.
Yeah, we have some fun photo shoot ideas, and even we have some cool ideas that we're working with some really friends cool about for like some skits that we want to put out there for people to watch. So definitely the creative aspect of it. We're looking to.
We've got really fun things that are going to come out because we're our two really good friends in Montana, Jen and Sweeney. Jen's husband, Sweeney. He does the most amazingly beautiful filmography. And they do a lot of shorts and funny skits, and she does comedy. So we're going to partner up together and come up with some really cool stuff. We're already shooting ideas back and forth.
We're going to push the envelope, so we're going to offend people.
We'll make it cringe. But you'll laugh.
Okay. We are here for it. Kathy Scalise wants to know, to both of you, what would you say is the more difficult part of the challenge? The social games or the actual challenges, the physical challenges?
The people.
Yeah, the people.
Yeah.
Just watching, you know what I think? Watching it afterwards is even harder than being in the house.
Here's the thing. This is what we're learning is, you know, we come from the same mindset where it's like, well, do we really need a social game? Because if we perform, we can do whatever. And what we're realizing is 90% of the cast go into the season with preconceived plans, preconceived fights,
fake
hookups,
fights.
Fake fights, hookups, storylines.
Like they do more than the actual producers. Even the producers have said, they're like, you know, the best producers are the cast themselves.
The cast members.
Like I found out so much after this season. Like I go to a season, I used to get people ask me, they'd be like, is it really real? And I'm like, yeah, it's real. And like, you get a bunch of people cooped up in a house trying to win, you know, anywhere from $300,000 to $1 million, and all we're doing is like feeding each other alcohol, and we never get to have an outlet. So yeah, this shit's real. And I've learned this season that it is not. we found out about lots of fake planned fights, like we said, planned.
People pre-write their jokes for certain people in the interviews.
Pre-write. They'll like run around the house and be like, "How does this sound? How does this one-liner sound?" Like people write their entire interviews out before they go and do their interview.
Wow.
Whereas I'm very off the cuff. Like whatever happens happens. But it blew my mind. And like people will literally go to the extent of, you'll get fined if you take your mic off, but there's people that will go into rooms. They already know what they're doing. They'll take their mic off. They'll have a side conversation so that there's no way in human possibility that it could ever make air. So they could be doing their own thing on the side. And then when they have their interviews where it's the confessionals, where you think that that's where they're telling the truth, they're just spinning their own narrative of what they want you to see and what they want the story to be. And I'm just like, that takes a lot of work. Mm-hmm. I ain't got the time for that. I'll just answer the questions. But now, if I ever do another season, I'm not even fucking answering the questions. I know what they do with them.
Yeah, now I know when certain questions get asked about certain situations or people, I'll just sit there with a blank look on my face, being like,
1000%. You can find me till the cows come home. I'm not answering that question. It's so annoying. It's like they could ask you 100 questions. They'll ask you that one question, which you answer in line with everything else you answer, and then that's all they show. So then that's all anybody thinks that you talk about, because that's the only part of your 100-question interview that you've been in for 3 hours that they show in the episode.
Right. I think that was on your Instagram. I saw a lot of people saying, like, ask Cara about her Instagram post. I think that's kind of like what you were just referencing about not saying anything when you're doing it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh.
But it's TV magic. We are the product of...
We are here for your entertainment. So just watch it the way you would watch WWE.
But that's what people do. They're like, you get the bad guys, you get the good guys, and people go into those storylines, and they're like, we hate Rhonda, whatever.
Well,
it's part of the job.
I know I know that there are a lot of people that love both of you together and that love both of you as a couple. There's a lot in the chat right now. Lash Hun 14 wants to know, when did you guys first realize that you had real feelings for each other?
Real feelings.
Real?
Like real feelings, like not fake real feelings.
I mean, honestly, probably real, really was, stop me if I'm wrong, but I think when we were filming this season. Yeah. Because I think we both, even though we said it, like you said you loved me on the tattoo show, I was still like I knew what I felt, but I knew what I felt forever with him, but I was trying not to.
It's kind of like when two people have gone through a history, right, of life, and then you finally meet that person that makes you want to be vulnerable.
But it's scary.
But then it's scary, so you don't want to admit it, even though you're feeling it, because you're just waiting. And then, like, while we were in the challenge house this past season, we just kind of like threw all the chips on the table, and we're like, what are we doing?
What do we want to do after
What do we want to do? And we were like, do we need to keep kidding ourselves? Like, I'm crazy about you. Are you crazy about me? Yeah, you're crazy about me. All right, cool. That's how I felt for a long time, but I didn't know how to say it, and vice versa. And that's where we, it's like we always kind of knew that we had this energy, and that we lined things up.
I was terrified. I was terrified, to be honest. Like, I got out of, when I left the long relationship that I was in, I was like, yeah, I'm free as a bird. I'm going to do what I want. I own my life. Like, I'm single. I'm going to do whatever I want. Like, my life. Yeah. And then, I had whatever, my rebound thing. And that was what it was. And then I met him, and there was that connection right away. And I remember in the Redemption House, not the Redemption House, and Redemption House too, but I mean, like, just around the house, I remember just looking at him, and I'd be like, this guy fits me on so many levels. We clicked so well. He was the person, you never saw it, but, like, he was the person whenever I was, like, the shittiest and I just wanted to, like, not be around anybody, or I was feeling like crap, like, he would always be the one that I would want to go to whenever he was around. It sucked that he was in Redemption most of the time, but he was my happiness. Like, he would twirl me around, he would dance with me, he would make me laugh, he would listen to me. And I remember we would run around, we'd work out together, and I remember just being like, this guy is everything that I could ever ask for. Like, I clicked with him so well, and I was like, but I'll never be able to be with him because he's got a girlfriend, and I really wasn't going to do that. And
and given my history. I was like, I do not want to do this
I
again
felt like
on
it was
national
friends.
television to a person, that has done nothing wrong, and was a complete like angel,
Right.
and then like I'm sitting there,
Made me feel more like crap.
and then when it happened, I was like, I did it. It's going to be a train wreck. And then it was at the point being like, well, and it was the same kind of confusion. Like, all right, is she caught up on someone? Does she want to be free?
I sensed a little resentment.
Does she want to be single?
For you, like having to like because your ex had done nothing wrong. Like there was nothing that made you want to leave her, but because we felt so strongly about each other, it's like there was almost like a resentment. Like because of those things, like you did feel like, is this girl just screwing around? Is she just using me to make?
I wouldn't say it's resentment. It was more like a confusion where I was like, because I didn't know the MTV world, and all I had was people telling me, being like, she only hooked up with you so that articles can get written, and MTV's now going to use this to promote the show. Those were not the articles
I would ever want written with the backlash.
And so I'm sitting there.
Nobody wants that.
I'm like, oh man, was that the reason why this hookup happened, or like, is there something that's going to grow from it? And I was caught in a level of confusion. It was like...
I was bent on, like, the more time we have to talk on everything that we've been through, the more I'm like, I knew how I felt about him, but I was trying so hard not to feel it. Like, I didn't want to be in a relationship. I wanted to be free. I wanted to be single on another challenge. Like, I wanted to do my own thing. And so I did act that way, and I didn't know fully how he felt about me, but I knew how I felt with him, and we clicked so well, like best friends, and it just and it wasn't until we were actually finally in the house, we were around each other 24/7,
cut away from everything else, and we were just kind of like chips on the table. We've been playing these games for like 3 months now, like, do you want me with other people? Because I don't want you with other people.
Like,
so I would love to have us to ourselves, and like finally do this.
We had a weird summer. It's like we knew what we want, but there was a lot of outside things going on around us.
There was a lot.
It was a storm.
There was a lot going on.
But I remember in my interviews, and I'm so sad. Like we always kept saying, we're like, they're going to show like how we really fell in love with each other this season. None of that, because it wouldn't fit the narrative that they were trying to fit.
Right.
If they showed my love for him and the other humans' interaction with another human in the house, you know what I mean? They want to make that not really so much of a thing, so that this was more of a thing.
Right.
So, but me with Paulie, it was like, I remember the producers were like, you just called him your boyfriend. You just said you loved him. I was like, I did? Like, I didn't even, it just started organically, naturally coming out. And I just let myself finally love and be loved by him. And that's why when we got out of it and everything happened, I was so fucked up in the head and so broken, and I equated my love for him and how I felt about him with what was going on over the summer, which the more I back out of my cloud that I was in, the more I realized, I'm like, wait, that's not how I acted, that's not how it was. But it's like I put that on that because that's how I felt when everything all of a sudden came out, But this is my human. This is my best friend who I happen to have sex with, spend 24 hours a day with, and literally this is my person. Like it's so hard to like let yourself, after everything you've been through, let yourself love somebody.
It's hard, and
it's scary.
Everybody has really drawn out the situation, and they've blown it crazy out of proportion, and it's like, even now, we're like sitting here being like, how long can people really just drag something out and say the same things over and over again?
You know what the thing is? Like, it doesn't matter what other people say because we know what we have.
True.
So.
Yeah, people jumped all over it for a lot of reasons because I think they see us in the game as a threat individually and together. And together, we're even more of a threat because that's an unbreakable bond. So...
I definitely agree that a couple in any of these games must be a scary thing to other non-couples because, they're never going to go against each other. You actually brought up a really good point that I don't know if you're allowed to clarify. I know people are confused because that dating show that you filmed is coming out after are you allowed to like explain the timing of those for people?
I've explained it before, but I'll give you a quick synopsis.
Yeah, like that film's
Oh,
right
I
after
get
Final
it.
Reckoning.
I was
booked
giving you
it
the floor.
before filming Final Reckoning. It was already booked, and I was all excited about it. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I went and filmed that show, and I knew that a week after, coming back from Final Reckoning, I'd be filming the dating show. He was in Redemption basically the entire time before we ever connected. We connected literally, physically, in like the 10th week of us being together. We finally physically connected. And then a week later, I was filming the dating show. So for me, he already knew about it. And for me, I was still dating. I was like, I actually was open to the idea that, maybe one of these guys who was picked for me, maybe this will be the one, because I was still trying to not with him.
Which I was sitting there being like, wait a second, we're about to get murdered for what just happened online. Like I jumped into that because I was like, wait, I wanted this.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me that you don't want this.
And I called him every night after filming, because after I met all the guys, I was like I was trying to force I really wanted to think that I was single. But I couldn't help my feelings for him. And then once I filmed the dating show, I realized more than ever that I couldn't stop myself from how I was feeling about him. So I knew I was like, I wanted to. None of those guys were Paulie.
Yeah.
It took them a very long time to show it. I think the situation that happened in December was taken advantage of in order to promote that show, because I feel like they were going to scrap the whole thing.
I think they were.
They were going to scrap the whole thing, but then they were like, wait a second, we should show this now.
It was supposed to air back in, I had filmed it, I think, as soon as we got back. It must have been June. Mm-hmm. I filmed it the first week of June or something, I forget. And then first or second week of June, I filmed it. It was supposed to air the end of the summer, but there was something going on that obviously we're not allowed to speak about, which I think was going to stop the show from actually airing.
Yes.
And I believe, this is all speculation on my end, that I think once our thing happened, then they were like, oh, maybe we can.
I just feel like the timing of everything, and this just shows us, normal relationships will never, ever, ever have to go through the things that we have had to go through ever. A normal relationship in the beginning isn't hey, guess what? We just messed up. We just hooked up, and now go away and film a dating show, and then come back and be like, let's do this. Right. And then, while you're going through figuring out that, being like, okay, well, now we're together. Mm-hmm. And it's things that could have been done over the summer, if somebody wanted to come out and say, hey, this is what's going on, could have happened over the summer. But why was the timing until December when everything came out? And then because of all that coming out, then why was the show that was supposed to air in August now pushed to, airing in March? Right. You know what I mean? And it's just it's just what we are, if the network wants to use us to promote things or promote a show.
At least we're making them money, because as long as we're making them money, we're getting hired. But as far as everything with our relationship, I take a huge responsibility, and just I was in such a fucked up mind space after filming for 9 weeks, however long we were there, and then being home for only 2 weeks after this season, and then everything came out in the middle of our being in our happy place.
We didn't even detox yet. We didn't even detox from the season.
You need everybody needs to see someone after filming. Something. Nobody understands what it's like unless you do it. No matter how many times you do it, everybody needs to decompress. But I take responsibility in the fact that I wish I never said a damn word ever. I think I said what I said because I really wanted to. I was like, oh, everything everybody did say was true. This is it. Oh my God, I was so blind. I'm so stupid. It happened to me again. And if I say something, that'll for sure guarantee I'll never be with him. And I wish I never said anything.
I was sitting there being like, wait.
I wish I never said anything.
We just dominated a whole season together. Wait, don't do it.
Basically, this is my love, and everything that we went through. I think the fact that we went through it. Yeah.
Because now it's we went through hell, so it's looking forward. We're what else could possibly be worse than that situation?
If we made it through that and we're still together, spending every minute together and happy and joking and best friends.
And dealing with the constant onslaught by few people, because for the most part, and we want to let everybody know watching, majority of it is love, and we love all the love. Like, it's just sometimes the minority screams
Speak
the
louder.
loudest.
Right.
And that's unfortunately what we have to deal with.
Well, speaking of, well, actually, first I want to say this, because I loved that answer. I was saying more like, I feel like people are confused because the dating show was airing, but they see you as a couple now, like they don't get.
They're gonna ask forever because nobody knows. It's not said, when we filmed it. So
exactly.
But that's the answer.
But speaking of love, I'm gonna take this question from New Jersey girl who wants to know, any plans for marriage or babies? I should say
babies. I think we're both on the same page in the sense of that we have a lot that we want to accomplish in life.
Right.
And to bring children into the world.
You don't need children.
Before we're ready to just take them on and show them the life that they should have.
Right.
Would just be foolish.
Yes.
And, we want to enjoy life and have fun with each other for probably about a long time. I was going to say minimum 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't need babies until your 40s.
And as far as marriage and stuff goes, it's just like, it's kind of like the way our relationship has been, where it's like when we first started dating or like talking to each other while we were away filming, we just kind of looked at each other and we were like, it literally makes zero sense to not call each other boyfriend and girlfriend and only be committed to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It makes zero sense not to live with each other.
And like here we are in Montana, we have separate homes, right? But I have literally been at my house maybe 3 times in 3 months.
Yeah.
So now we're at a point where we're like, it makes zero sense for us to not live together. So the next step is living together. And I'm sure that at some point in our life, we're going to sit there and we're going to look at each other and we're going to be like, why are we not married? And then,
Is that really what's going to happen? Or are you just going to surprise me with a proposal?
I guess I'll keep you wondering what's going to happen, because then it wouldn't be a proposal. I have to be all nonchalant about it so that you don't expect it, and then if it comes out of nowhere, you'll actually be surprised.
I trust that it's going to be amazing.
Yes.
I mean, I have to say I would only be in my house 3 times as well if my house was in New Jersey, Paulie. But that is neither here nor there.
Well, no, he's got a place in Montana.
I've got a place in Montana.
He's got his own place in Montana.
Oh, you mean a Montana house?
But he's basically paying like a
I'm paying a glorified storage unit.
Because he's always at my place.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense economically.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. It makes no sense.
Well, when he came out, I was like, "You're getting your own place."
Yeah, like there's so many things that we have in the works outside of the challenge world, because realistically, like, she's been blessed to go back as many times as she has. As many times as I'll go back, I will be blessed to have that. But everybody and everything has a shelf life.
Yeah.
Right.
So if we're not planning for our retirement, we're gonna sit there being like, okay, what do we do?
No.
How do we make money? What are we gonna do?
We've got lots of ideas, but it's just you're only home for like a month or so between filming, and then even if you're home for 2 months between filming, you're flying and doing a million things, so you're never really home. Yeah. So it's hard to start something when you keep and nobody's saying no to that paycheck.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
And plus, I need to win at least 3 challenges.
He does.
Before I can even sit there and be like, you know what? Do I try and chase 6 or do I just hang it up here?
He needs to at least get 1 more.
I got to pad my stats, Eric.
I hear you.
I can't exit until I pad my stats.
He needs a crazy elimination record, and unfortunately with Paulie, the worst thing ever, he's got technically the hardest eliminations ever to actually win. Because
I agree.
when it's an equalizing or an equalizer playing field, it doesn't matter if you're 800 pounds and 10 feet tall going against a midget, or a small person or whatever. I'm
little person.
Roasted for that. I didn't mean it.
I
didn't mean it.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, technically, all my castmates call me a midget, so it must be politically correct,
right,
for them to use it.
But you know what I mean? Like a small person against a really, really big
Right.
person. It doesn't matter the size difference because if you're doing a competition, an elimination that's equalizing,
Right.
anybody can win, and so that's harder.
Here's what people don't
I
realize.
want to see him do a headbanger.
Yeah, here's what people don't realize is there were opportunities to throw me in, but it's safer to throw someone like me or someone like her in.
Mm-hmm.
If you get there and you look at the elimination and you're like, anybody could win this, take the chance now.
Yeah.
Like if Cara went
Right.
down on the
physical.
elimination floor for that taping elimination that Nani and Georgia did,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how good she is at anything. She could go home and like that's it. Goodbye, Cara and
I
Maria.
wouldn't have because you would have taped the other person.
I would have taped the other person. I'm
Shit,
a damn,
but Turbo,
I'm a damn
Turbo
good
would have taped
taper.
me up.
Yeah.
You better tape better than Turbo.
Yes.
We'd both be there a while.
Turbo scares me now. Why won't Turbo just get along? Can't you fix that relationship, Paulie? I want to see Turbo back with Dee and Natalie. Was it really that bad?
I think that their relationship is good.
I think
they like
so.
each other.
He is the same. He's a revenge or like a.
Clearly.
He basically the way that he works is if you cross him, if you do to him, he will do to you.
Sure.
And once he does that.
Oh, now we're good.
Like,
Good.
so that's how I roll.
Sure, the punishment
But
fit
it
that
just took
crime.
me a little bit longer to do back.
All right, I want to because look, you have a million questions. I could keep you here all night asking you questions, but I don't want to. But I want to kind of go through some really quickly, if you're okay with that. That I see you're getting a ton of. Number one, Courtney J wants to know, so Cara, would you ever consider moving to where Paulie is from?
Yes.
Why? It's New Jersey.
Eric.
Don't you
Oh
know
my
that
God.
New Jersey's my enemy, Paulie?
We have locations in our head where we're like, you know what? If we can get a second home or like
Yeah.
a third, fourth, like we would sprinkle them out places so that, you know, if it gets too cold somewhere, we can go somewhere warm.
Like I'm not
You
good
know?
at permanently being anywhere, but if we
Yeah.
can get a few, maybe a couple locations, I'd be down.
Yeah, we'd be down for that.
Abby Love wants to know, would you be on board if the challenge said they're going to do live feeds? Like you had to sign on and agree that there would be live feeds during it.
Hey, look, I know how to handle live feeds. I think the challenge don't want those problems because they know what a lot of those people in that house
I'm sure.
bring, and they hide and they shield so much
Yeah.
of so many people
It would never.
that would get slaughtered
You
by
have
the live
to.
feeds.
Certain people.
Slaughtered.
Certain people have to be protected, and if it was live,
They wouldn't be
there's no
protected.
saving that.
We would still be good because
We'd be
all
alright.
we really do is
Lay around in bed.
and have sex a lot.
I have to say, and of course I have the worst memory, but I feel like when I have seen people that have played with you guys this season do interviews, I feel like they have said that about you two, that like what the show is not showing is how like in love you two were and how together all the time you
Yeah.
are. I feel like that has been what people have been saying about
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is.
the people that were there long enough,
Yeah.
Right.
because there's some people that were eliminated in the first week
That have the most to say.
that have the most to say, or the people that weren't even there, they have the most to say about what happened,
Oh, I'm sure.
you know, or what we're like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not to name
Janice,
names.
we get it.
Ever.
Janice K wants to know, who would each of you say is the most fierce competitor on the challenge minus each other this season?
For boys, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Turbo.
Turbo.
Okay.
And for girls, in terms of fierce, there was nobody that was really like fierce aggressive.
You know,
Right?
you know what I want to,
Like,
you know what I want to give it to?
The girls really had like so much fun together.
Yeah.
Like they like really were like friends, and when they had to like pick each other to do things, they're like, "I'm so sorry," and like, you know, like even Maddie, like she is so intimidating,
so
but
intimidating
like
physically.
she is so sweet.
She's
like
she's like
so nice.
she's like a lamb in a
Mhm.
lion's body. She's
Yeah,
genuinely
she's
just
such a sweetheart,
sweet.
and
That's
she doesn't
how-
have to be. She can literally
She could
murder
scare
people.
the shit out of anybody, but it's almost like she doesn't know.
She's like a
big
big dog that thinks it's a
Uh-huh.
lap dog.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like doesn't really know how big and strong, you know, but
she does. I mean,
No,
she'll
she
bring
does.
it.
But she's not
She'll
gonna
bring
sit
the
there.
storm.
She's not gonna sit there and be like, "Bitch, you want some?" She's gonna sit there and be like,
The girls are really, there's so many good girls. I mean, you've got Georgia, who
"Georgia."
gives confessionals. She's like a confessional queen. She's hilarious. The fire that girl has in eliminations, in challenges. I mean, she is actually top performer in the challenges. She's done really well in a bunch of them. Actually, outdoing Ninja in a few that, you would think Ninja would have done. Georgia's killing it. Ninja's strong
intense.
as shit, intense.
Even
D, like what D has been through, the fears that she's conquered. She takes no shit. Yeah. Like, I love the girls this season, and even Davon in eliminations.
Yeah, and Davon's confessionals are hilarious.
Top confessionals, Georgia and Davon.
And the thing is, I'd say, like, from a standpoint, male and female. Now, granted, you could sprinkle a couple males from the past and sprinkle a couple females from the past, but overall, this is one of the, if not the strongest cast that has ever been on the challenge. And I'm not just saying that, like, for me, this is what a lot of the vets who have been there, like Wes, has said, you know what I mean? Like, even talking to CT, talking to Cara, who's been there. Now, granted, on the girl side, you could sprinkle in, like, girls like Laurel, Emily Schromm, Anissa, Camilla, and Nicole Zanata.
Nicole's physically strong.
On the guy side, you could sprinkle in like Derek Kay, Darrell, Brad, like a Mark Long. You know what I mean? And like you could sit there and you'd be like, damn. But like for the most part, there's no weak guys and girls.
The girls this season, all the new girls, I loved them. Usually I've got like one or two, one girl maybe that I like on each season. Like Natalie, she's a newcomer, but I stuck to her right away. But this season, the girls, I loved all the new girls, all the rookie girls. They were amazing. And the girls that are left right now earned the shit out of it. I love the way that like they all played their own games, really.
Everybody that made it to the point of this past episode, Kyle included, deserved to be there, and that's why I get disappointed when the show will try and show as if anybody at that point was intimidated of anybody, because anybody there at that point feared nothing and deserved to be there.
Everybody worked their ass off. Like, seriously, we've got a solid group of people.
So then,
this episode.
Right. So then I don't know if you would necessarily agree with this question for Cara Maria. So Kalmari says, I always root for you all the time, Cara. Why do you think, though, the girls always seem to be against you? But are you saying you don't feel like they're against you this season?
I don't feel like it.
She didn't hit an elimination all season.
Right.
And this is my thing, and this is what I'll say
I did win a lot of them too.
But this is what I'll say to any of the girls that want to talk smack, or anybody in general that want to talk smack about her, is no matter what you say and what you do, who's gonna actually step up to the plate
and be like, I want to do. But still, like Wes has said, I also consider myself a prize. So if you are going to have to go against me, it's like if you lose, it's sort of expected that you lose, but at least you tried really hard and you went against me. Yeah. But if you win, oh shit, you beat Cara, like, and you get, it's like a win-win for them.
Right.
Not so much for me.
However, though, but you rarely see like girls like like a Laurel or Nicole who will be out front open, being like, I want you and I can take you.
Well, if I was that
all
size,
the other
I
ones,
would take anybody too.
All the other ones, they'll talk it like, I want you gone, but realistically, they can't do it.
Here's the thing.
They just can't. I'm sorry, I'm just being honest. Like, most of the girls, like, they won't be able to do it.
Here's
and
the
I can
thing.
say that.
Here's
like,
the
they
thing.
can't do it.
I prefer, like, the worst thing for me was when I saw who Maddie ended up being partnered with, because I wanted to work with Maddie from day one. She ended up in my room. We were bonding over being little weirdos before we ended up having our partners pick us, or we picked our partners. Like, I was like, this girl's bomb. Like, I'm excited to hang out with her. She's like a little loner. Like, she's very comfortable being alone, doing her own thing. She's very gentle. She's sweet. And like, I was excited to see how she was going to compete. I mean, she's physically, not only is she beautiful, but she's built like an Amazon. And like, I was excited. I was like, look at this fun new toy that we have here at the challenge with this great butt. And for me, when I see somebody strong, I want to work with them. I want to be their friend because I like placing my bets on a strong horse. And for me, that's going to pay off. Whereas if I go against you right away, the odds are you're going to come back in an elimination. If you come back, you're pissed off. Now I'm your enemy. And then you might win a challenge if I don't, and then I'm fucked. So I'd rather work with someone that I think is going to win, whereas I think that girls that are strong and confident should want to work with me because not a lot of people are. And if they do, then you see what I do. I made a deal with Dee. I made a deal with Maddie, and I paid that deal right back the next girls' day.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how I roll. And I'll go against anybody in a final because if I don't win in a final, that's on me. That's my bad.
Eric, I think what it comes down to is that girls are just smarter than guys because the guys will sit there and instead of the guys being like, hey, strong guys, let's all work together and then duke it out at the end, we're all sitting there being like, no, we should get rid of each other and we should go against each other.
I'm here for money.
That's just our egos.
I'm here for money.
You know what I mean?
And if I can't deliver in a final, that's my fault. But I'm sure as hell gonna get there. And you will too if you work with me, because I don't work with everybody. And I like me a strong girl, like Cam. I love me a strong girl. Like I love Cam. That's what I want to talk about. I fucking love Cam.
Love Cam.
Let me just throw that out there. Cam is the queen.
I do love
strong, smart. She is like. I mean, it sucked that you had to go against her. Like if she was around, she is a force. I love Cam. Just saying that.
I was going to say, we got to see the moment that you found out you were going to this finale. On this last night's episode, we saw that you were going there. Okay, we have 6. I'm stopping. You literally have like 60 more questions. I'm stopping with these last 6 because people have been voting them up. I have faith that you can answer this one quickly, Paulie.
Okay.
One person who you think from the challenge would be good in the Big Brother house.
Wes.
Yeah.
Oh wow, and that a lot of people were saying, do you think Wes is manipulative enough to play Big Brother? So that's interesting.
Wes, 100%.
Yes.
I don't know why you got asked this a ton. I'm going to take it from Becca. How much time do people spend working out in the challenge house? I didn't know that was a thing people wanted to know.
I'd say a lot. I mean, this season, everybody was in the gym.
Really? It never used to be like that. We never used to have gyms in the challenge house. We never used to have gyms.
You know, but you got to be smart with it. So everybody gets their hour or 2 hours a day, and then there are days where nobody will work out because it's like it's a challenge day or an elimination.
It's also hard because there's no music and no time. It's like it's just oh my god, you want to die.
It's weird. Phone calls and not music. Miss Janie Talley wanted to know this from earlier when we were talking about what shows you guys would do, and actually a lot of people asked it. Would you ever consider doing The Amazing Race together?
We talked
about it.
I think I've actually never really watched The Amazing Race.
Either we're gonna do that or we're gonna do RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes! RuPaul's Drag Race!
I did a whole paper in college on the fact that RuPaul's Drag Race stole its whole format from Big Brother, but that's a show for another day.
I've been a fan since season 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Just saying.
We cover it on Mondays here at 7 p.m. Eastern.
I mean, I just want to say, I think I would fucking kill it in drag.
You would be pretty, but it takes
like dance-wise.
Dance-wise, yes.
Because they do the dancing and they do the lip syncing.
But babe,
can
you tuck?
No.
And it hurts.
That thing ain't tucking.
And that's the thing. Like I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to tuck it. And but I think it would be fun just to dance and lip sync in a wig.
We can
with
do that.
Makeup on.
We'll do that one day. We should get you at like an appearance at like a drag bar. We'll just have you like do one act.
You have a lot of content already just from this one show that you can turn into YouTube videos. I feel like there was a lot of good things we took out of this show that now people are going to want to see. You need to make a YouTube channel. Um, okay, Laura wants to know, and a bunch of people were asking about this too. You're a fierce competitor, Cara Maria, but one of my favorite things about you is your bold choices in hair color. Is there ever a color that you've regretted or a color that you won't try? There was a ton of questions about your hair color in chat tonight.
The only colors I would stay away from, I would look terrible. I think I'd look really bad in pastels. Like, I think I could either do, like, a silver, every shade of, like...
Is that what pastels are? Because you said pastels, and I'm like, what color is that?
Like, no. I could do shades of, like, I've done lots of purples, different variations of purple and red. I would never go to the blue-green spectrum.
Okay. No blue-greens. Perfect. Heather
I'm not ready to go black again. I like my colors.
Oh, you can do, like, rainbow now. Like, have you seen, like... people literally
love it.
do
I kind of want to do, I think my next thing is more of like a fuchsia pink and a tangerine, like on one side.
I've seen that. I like it. Yeah. Heather says, outside of each other, if you had to be partnered with one person for an entire season, so kind of if that was a twist on the show, who is the one person that you would pick?
Guy or girl? Or guy and a girl?
Anyone, but you're chained to them for the entire season.
Pick one guy and one girl. And I'll pick one guy and one girl.
One guy and one girl.
Uh-huh.
I would pick Maddie as a girl.
Uh-huh.
Or Ninja. I mean, Ninja's a monster. And then as a guy, I would pick Turbo or CT.
Oh, Chris! Mm-hmm. That's my brother. Duh, I forgot. Yeah. One guy, Chris. One girl, Cam.
Perfect. I saw a lot of people were knowing, are you guys making it out of medical treatment? Okay, so I guess in referring in the preview that we saw, medical treatment coming up for you guys, but I don't think you can comment on that.
No. I think they're talking about the rehab stuff that we do, that we show.
We've been going to get rehab to some workout.
Yeah, we don't go to the doctors because we're injured. That's more like a maintenance thing to make sure we can train and perform.
No, I thought like I saw it too. I thought in the preview they make it look like you guys are in an ambulance or something.
There may or may not be.
There may not be.
Well, may or may not be. People are going to have to tune in. We don't have a lot of episodes left. Here's what I want to end on. Aside from the fact that you have hundreds of people in here watching you, loving you, I apologize to all of you that we can't get to all of your questions. We're going to get to your guys' socials in a minute, but I'm
wondering how much of it's going to get taken out of context and like little snippets are going to be all over Twitter.
You're not
what did I say that was wrong?
But Eric actually goes to battle for the people. Eric actually goes to bat when he sees that, and he says, actually, if you watch the whole thing,
I do that because I don't like.
That's why I love Eric. I love Eric.
Well, look, here is the overall sentiment that I feel towards both of you that I think our town summed up perfectly in chat. And he says, Paulie and Cara Maria, you guys make the season so enjoyable to watch. I just wanted to let you know I adore both of you. I've been a fan of you two since the beginning. You guys are great in leadership, poise, and relationship goals.
That's not what I'm seeing of myself, so I really appreciate that.
You look cute.
Well, you should come hang out with our people more.
Oh.
Everybody here loves you guys, and thanks you for coming
that's lovely.
and answering questions. Now, look, we know you said no. We know you said no Twitter, but where do you guys want people to follow you on social media?
I mean, we're on Instagram.
I'm only on Instagram.
Yep, we're on Instagram. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. It's the same handle. She's on.
Mine's Miss Cara Maria on Instagram, and I'm always going live, and I'm always posting like funny stuff about our day.
We're always doing cringe things.
You'll see horses. Yep. You'll see a lot of Paulie.
You'll see a lot of
sexy.
Me, and you'll see a lot of her on mine.
Paul
Calafiore _ I troll her
all the time.
All the time.
I will put the links to it below this video. Of course, their socials for Instagram, because I was smart, have been above you guys the whole show, but the links will be below this video on the edited show. Final thoughts that you guys want to say to your fans and the people that came out to watch you guys tonight?
Go
Don't diary room me.
Final thought for you. Thank you for having us. And next time, can you have us when I have morning? Because then I'm gonna look pretty. I'm gonna look really pretty on the next one.
Now, mind you, Eric.
This is after a 5-hour drive.
Hold on, Eric. This just shows you how awesome of a person you are, which I already knew because I've known you for years, and this is why I love you. But you saw her body language and mood at the beginning of this.
I was trying to win you over,
right? Because she thought that she didn't look pretty. But do you see how comfortable you made her feel throughout this whole interview process?
You did. I adore you.
Well, I am glad
I'm just
that you.
I'm getting ready for my period. I'm moody.
She is.
Sorry,
that might be TMI. But
look,
yes,
that is.
Make sure we have ice cream stocked and tortilla chips because I know what she needs every time that time of the month is coming.
Right.
And I have my hands ready to massage her cramp pouch.
He does. All right. And then to everybody who tuned in for this, like, I just want to say, like, the people that are spewing hatred are very few in number and very loud. But I want you to know that, like, all the love that we get, it just reflects on you as a human. It helps us out. Like, it cheers our day up. Like, you guys make our day when you send us love, and we wish we could respond to all of you. And we want to give more attention to those that love us and that show love. But I always tell him, I'm like, it's funny how different people can see the same thing. Like, if we do a live or if we do a post, different people, one person could say, oh my God, you know, I love you guys together. You make me so happy. You make me believe in love again. You'll have another person that just says something absolutely disgusting and horrible. And it's like, look at, these two people are looking at the same thing.
Right.
And so what it shows us isn't what's wrong with us or what's right about us. It reflects on you as a human in your lives. Mm-hmm. So we see, we're like, oh, this is a good person. This person has a good outlook. They have a happy life. And so I'm more likely to every now and then go sneak on your profile if it's public, right, and just like one of your pictures or comment something sweet back at you, because I just want to share the love that you give me, because it just shows that you're a beautiful person.
We love the love, and we love that you guys go to bat for us. It's awesome.
Well, that about wraps up our show. Again, don't forget, check out all of our content over at yourrealityrecaps.com. If you missed this show live, make sure you become a fan over at yourrealityrecaps.com/you now. Just hit that fan button. It is completely free. You get alerted every time we go live. If you want to financially support our shows so that we can keep bringing you ones like this one, consider becoming a patron for access to the patron-only Facebook group, prize giveaways just for patrons, weekly shows, and after shows just for the patrons, or you could always do a one-time donation over at yourrealityrecaps.com/PayPal. If you have any Amazon shopping to do, start by using our link, yourrealityrecaps.com/Amazon, or clicking the ad in the sidebar. You don't pay any more, we get a little bit back, and if you're into gaming, check out our Twitch channel, yourrealityrecaps.com/Twitch. It is where we play Fortnite late nights, and the best free ways for you guys to help us out is if you are watching on YouTube, thumbs up and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're alerted when we do a new video and put a new one up. If you're listening in iTunes, 5-star rating and a nice review. Of course, we have audio and video only feeds in iTunes of all of our shows, or master feeds that have everything. So check out our iTunes, show some love over there, share our stuff when you see it on social media. Without your guys' support, we cannot keep all of this going, so we hope that you guys will support our shows. Thanks so much. We will see you guys on the next show, which is tomorrow night is game night. Saturday, Sunday is our patron show. Mondays are our drag race shows at 7 p.m. Eastern. Thursday nights are our amazing race shows, and then Big Brother Canada shows in there in between. I think that covers it all. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I will see you guys all next time.
Thank you.
Team cringe all day.
Team cringe all day. Thank you guys so much for watching. And YouTube, again, all the links to Paulie and Cara Maria's socials will be under this video on the edited version when you're watching it back. We'll see you guys all on the next show. Bye for now, everybody.
Thanks for putting up with me.
Bye. Love you, Eric.
Bye, guys.